Good evening, good evening, good evening, and good evening, and welcome back to the One Celtic Fans View. Jeez, I've caught the sun over the weekend, haven't I? Anyway, I'm just looking at the window to see if I can spot the flight that my father and my brother and my mate are on, heading back to Scotland. Yes, it's been a fantastic weekend for me. Personally, Celtic made the Scottish Cup final, and when you go on to your Celtic calendar, well, you go into your calendar, you may be like me. I have the Celtic games integrated into my own personal calendar. So when you go on that, now you see the Celtic game on the 23rd of May against Dunfermline. And you know, the funny thing is, that the hand of God, as she's known, she didn't realise that Dunfermline were in the Scottish Cup. So when I told her tonight, I said, look at the calendar. I said, the final game of the season. That was the excitement. That was the excitement. I was like, look. She's like, Dunfermline? She went right into Fife mode. And she was like, Dunfermline's in the Scottish Cup. She goes here, Dunfermline in the Scottish Cup final. I said, yes. And then she said, Dunfermline. She kept on going on about it. She's like, I feel like I've missed the season. When were they in the SPF? I said, they're not in the SPFL, it's the Scottish Cup hit. And I was like, and you've got to remind her at that point, you know, the difference between the league and the cup. She's not a football mom type person, do you know what I mean? She just puts up with my love for everything Celtic. And anyway, there's one thing that's for sure. At the weekend, what it did tell us is that nobody, Big Rab, I'll ban you for that chat. Lennon back in the Hampden showers, written in the stars. I'll fly. The missus flies home the week after. I'm going to fly home that weekend, and I'm going to make sure that Peter Lawwell is nowhere near any Celtic staff. I'll get somebody to fake me ID, or I'll even get a job in Hampden for the weekend, and I'll stand in front of the Dunfermline doors to make sure that no Celtic staff. Somebody get me a high vis jacket and a security badge. Do you remember the time that this is going way off track today? Do you remember the time that Simon Wilson, that massive YouTuber, Simon Wilson, sneaked into Celtic Park with his mum? I don't think he really did. I think that it was maybe somebody that sat in the lounges, had passes and slipped them to Simon Wilson. Anyway, that's when I first found out about Simon Wilson. When he did the video that he sneaked into Celtic Park, he brought his mum up to, and I don't know where I'm going with this, I'll be honest. I've lost the track now. But anyway, yes, I'll get the security badge. That's where I was going. I'll get a Hampden Park security badge, a high vis jacket, and I'll stand in front of it and I'll put on my biggest Fife accent. Can I really do a really big? I can't do a Fife accent. I'm just, people will say, what the fuck are you talking about when you're a Fifer? But anyway, I'll stand in front of the Dunfermline dressing room and make sure that nobody for Celtic gets in to offer Lennon the job. And he's not beating us. Martin, what are you talking about anyway? Martin O'Neill will win the Scottish Cup with Celtic. He will. And there's one thing that's for sure. Martin O'Neill has proven at the weekend that if you want to play for this team, if you want to play in the Scottish Cup final, you're going to have to fight for your place. Leaving out players like Tam the checked out. Leaving out players like Rio Hitati, who thinks he could just turn up and swan onto a pitch. I've got a high-vis jacket from our previous days in security. Dancer! Yes, we're in. We're halfway there. We just need to sort out some security tagging and shit. Sorry for swearing. The meandering tail. That's what we're here for. That's what you get on this channel. Do you know what I mean? It's like there's no use coming in and being, yes, I'm a reporter for the Celtic News, and tonight in the Celtic News, Well, we are Celtic supporters, faithful through and through. Anyway, Martin O'Neill has proven that nobody's position is safe. Thank goodness, because Tam the Czech is shite. Tam the Czech has been is in the team and has been the forefront of the attacking prowess that wasn't Celtic. Celtic bombarded. Did they bombard St Mirren for 6 minutes or something? There is some bad news out there tonight. Should we even talk about it? Something that the Scottish media will pounce on. And those pesky Green Brigade were back and they were outside and causing trouble before the game. Yes, who gives a shit? Anyway, the big thing of the Celtic news tonight. That's what I'm calling him now. Tam the Checked Out. It's not Tam the Check, it's Tam the Checked Out. I've changed his name. I called him Tam the Check. He's now Tam the Checked Out. That's it. Celtic manager's job. It's getting to squeaky bum time for Celtic. Today is the 20th of April. On the 23rd or 24th of April 2025, Celtic put out the announcement. Yes, it's season ticket renewal time. Season ticket renewal time. Development too close. Only got to Falkirk. I'm just reading some of the comments. The players have to believe in themselves if they are to do the double. Yes, they can't do that. A squabble over a sandwich. Over a sandwich. Ban the Green Brigades. They won't learn their lessons, says Glaswegian Ian 82. Oh, the hand of God. Da, 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 da. Delivers a can of Mao. Monday Club. Monday. It is a Monday Club because we've been celebrating today, haven't we? Yeah. Since we never celebrated enough yesterday. Well, you never celebrated at all. I did. I was working. Yeah, you were working. So we celebrate tonight because we've had a lot of good news today. So it's been a very, very good Monday for us. And my father went home today. So yeah, that was quite emotional actually. Quite emotional. But it was it's the first time that he's been here in this country in the whole time I've been here. But anyway, we digress. Celtic manager. There is a manager that's been mentioned over the last couple of since he got sacked, and it is the manager that took over from Ange Postecoglou. Yes, it's the ex-Brentford manager and now ex-Tottenham manager. How do you feel about the fact that Thomas Frank, another Denmark, it's from Denmark. Should we maybe just stop it there, end of conversation? I think we should. Nothing against Danish. Nothing against Danish at all. Unless your name's Casper. It's Michael. And maybe this this is the picture. I'm gonna put this picture up. Because Mr. Frank doesn't want to be associated with Kasper Schmeichel. When he hears the name Kasper Schmeichel, this is what he does. I'm going to put this picture up. Just pure shits and giggles tonight. Yes, this is the picture of Tam Frank when he hears the name Kasper Schmeichel in Celtic. Oh, I fucking shit keeper. That fat bastard ruined it for me. It's going to be a laugh tonight, by the way. Would you have Tam Frank as the next, let's get serious and professional. People say that I'm not professional enough. There's other podcasters out there that are way more professional. I don't give a shit. I'm a YouTuber. I'm not a journalist. I'm not a want-to-be journalist. I don't want to just, do you know what I mean? I'm a YouTuber. If you don't like it, well, that's your fucking shits and giggles. Anyway, Tam Frank. Yeah, for pro license. for a few years. Plays a 4-2-3-1 formation. He plays the Celtic formation that we're playing now. He has managed previous clubs. Brentford. He's managed Brøndby. He managed the Denmark under 2019's team. He managed the Denmark under 17 team, the under 16 team. And that was about it. Is Thomas Frank the person to take Celtic forward? Play some nice football, Frank. No, I'll say it again. I want Robbie Keane. Alex says, just what you are, Baz. Do you know what? And I still think the best manager for the Celtic job is not the one that we're going to get. And I do think that there's an Irishman at Ipswich that will leave Ipswich this summer that would have been my preferred candidate. But plenty of other arseholes with opinions. Where did the Frank story come from? It's kind of been doing the rounds, and the fact that there are publications down south in England talking about it. Celtic are considering an appointment for Thomas Frank as the club's new manager, following another twist in their search for Martin O'Neill's successor, says this one. But I think it's way off the mark. I think it's there's that much fan media now. There's that much. Do you know what is wrong with the whole media situation when it comes to football? You used to get good old school reporters, right? Mainstream media. And now what you've got is you have a crossover. You've got people that can't get a job as a journalist, so with one of the mainstream media companies. And then because of social media now, and because of websites, and do you know, I started making money off of websites back in 2010. You've now got people that are classed as fan media and journalists, and they're out there and they're trying to apply their trade. If that's what you want to be, that's what you want to be. Personally, I couldn't fucking type to save myself on an ongoing basis. I fucking write articles and shit. No time for that bullshit. No time for it at all. I've done it since 2010, making money online, building websites, doing video and stuff, and it's kind of worked. The crossover between fan media now and mainstream media, they're together. There's so many publications out there that are owned by mainstream media, but they convert as fan media. They're paid a wage by, and it's no dig at them. Do you know what I mean? But it's where does the truth come into the equation? You've got a lot of journalists out there that will put out a story just because they'll put two and two together and they'll put it on a blog. Every kid in their fucking, I mean, ChatGPT can spurt out content like nobody's business in this day and age, and it's very difficult to get to the truth. And I fucking thank God I'm not a writer. That's all I could say. That's all I could say. Thank fuck I've done YouTube for so long that I've yeah. Do you know what I mean? I don't know where it came from originally. I don't think anybody knows. I think somebody puts out a blog or an article, as they're now put down as, and it can grab arms and legs, doesn't it? Anyway, he has been linked with Celtic, allegedly. I'm going to start putting allegedly under everything over the summer until we get the manager. But the point of the story is, it's the 20th of April 2026. This is the week, historically proven fact, that Celtic put out the email, "We want your cash. This is how much you'll have to pay to be a valued customer in 2026-27 season. We love you." They'll have lots of big love heart emojis and stuff, and I can't wait to see what Celtic put out this Friday, because it will be this Friday if they stick to the agenda, if they stick to previous timelines. It'll be this Friday that they ask for season ticket renewals, and they'll give you a deadline. But we don't have the manager. So Thomas Frank has been put out there, and Baz works for the Berlin Evening News. Mate, I've always been behind the wire. Don't start singing that. Men behind the wire. Armoured cars and tanks and guns came to take away our sons. Behind the wire. Oh, Jesus. The old ones are the best. Anyway, you're just going to be full of shits and giggles tonight. So if you don't like it, just log off now. Celtic have been heavily linked with the Motherwell manager. Celtic have been heavily linked with Roberto Martinez. Celtic have been heavily linked with Robbie Keane. Robbie Keane is still up there in my thinking, the way that the Celtic have worked before, but with the fact that Thomas Frank has been removed from his manager position, and let's face it, what has he done? With 26 matches in the Premier League, he won 7, he drawn 8, and he lost 11. In the UEFA Champions League, he won 5 in 8 matches. He drawn 2 and he lost 1. He got 17 points in the Champions League. In the EFL Cup, 2 matches, 1 win, 1 loss. The UEFA Super Cup, that Ange Postecoglou got them there too. He lost that. The FA Cup, he also lost that. So, is he really the man? He was at Brentford from 2018 to 2025. He did play some good football at Brentford. Was that not about when did Celtic play Brentford? Was it not 20? That was before Frank, wasn't it? Was it not 20? That was before 2018, wasn't it? Anyway, please not Thomas Frank. Yeah. We'll end up with someone that we don't expect. This is true. The stadium was supposed to undergo some work. Not sure when. What stadium? If you're talking about Hampden, God, the messages that I was getting. The messages that I was getting for mates that were at the game at the weekend, talking about the shit show that's Hampden. Hampden's been a friggin' nightmare of a ground for years. For absolute years. And I've had mates that have come out and it was that Hoopsaholic. Come Out You Black and Tans was Alan Partridge, was the pinnacle of comedy, and it was the best thing ever. And the fact that they had a fake James Bond sitting there. Oh, Jesus. Anyone want a Vatican flag? The fucking chats went shit show for tonight. Anyway, Spurs are like Chelsea for managers. It's a madhouse. Who's talking about? Yeah. The Lisbon Lions Stadium. Oh, yeah, I know that, mate. That's been... yeah, that's why they stopped Celtic fans going. That's why they stopped Celtic fans going on to the stadium. My cousin was actually on the park in the stadium last week. So the works haven't started yet, because I can confirm, I've got footage on Facebook that my cousin was in the stadium last week and the work hasn't done. You're right, Baz. Martinez was reportedly going to Glasgow to watch the semi. Never saw any footage of him at the game. I did say that. It was reported, it was He was in Glasgow. I can confirm he was in Glasgow because the person that told me, I would never, I, I wouldn't say, he's not going to bullshit us. The person that told me seen him in person. Please, Doug's to the music. If you go to the estadio, ask for Carlos, he will let you in. Jesus. But anyway, let's get back to the Celtic manager's vacancy. I think that the Celtic manager's vacancy has already been decided, and there's a lot of bloggers out there that are actually just making stuff up. Anyway, getting back to the current manager and all the things that he has to do between now and the end of this season. Martin O'Neill says that people have to fight for their place in this team, and he's warned, look, after dropping Tam the checked out, after dropping Rio Hatate's on his way out the door. The new names for them. Celtic won 6-2. Yes, we could have scored late on into the semi-final. Luke McCowan could have went down in the history books as the player that scored a screamer. A screamer. And when he didn't, I could have died. I don't want Martinez. Some of the comments coming in from Chilpel. Who do you want, Chilpel? Tell me in the comments. We managed to go through a period at the weekend and we scored an awful lot of goals. You've got to say we played without Tam the Czech, we played without Rio Hatate. Is that a warning to the players that, look, we actually managed to play quite good? I don't care where you came from. You might have played for München, Borussia Mönchengladbach, but Tam the Czech's not lived up to expectations as a striker. I've got to say that Johnny Kenny has scored more goals going out on loan. Tam the Czech scored 2 goals in 13 appearances. 2 goals in 13 appearances, and I think that both of them were penalties, if I am correct. It's not set the header on fire, has it? Players like Tam the Czech should not be brought here on a permanent basis in the summer. With 5 league games remaining, Martin O'Neill has to make sure that all these players know that there is no comfort zone at Celtic. Rio Hatate now knows, and thank goodness for Martin O'Neill. We need to just take a moment and thank God Martin O'Neill's at Celtic. Because if Brendan Rodgers was still here, Brendan Rodgers would have started Rio Hatate at the weekend. And Rio Hatate has not been the answer all season. 2 players in every position under Ange. Fuck, I miss Abada, the grumpy Greek, the Kyogo, and a fit Jota. Well, you're going to have a fit Jota next year. No, he scored with the header. That's right. Sorry, I apologise. It was his one and only goal with a header. Another one was a penalty. It's not a great return now, when you think about it. When you look at, and people will say, well, look, the team that Johnny Kenny's playing at is not the level maybe that Celtic, but Johnny Kenny said, well, I'm going to be honest, the level that Celtic play at on a week-to-week basis is a bit more faster, but the physicality that I'm playing at just now is probably just as good as what you get in Scotland. People will say, well, that's disrespecting Scottish football. No, it's just a player fucking speaking the truth. People need to take their little, and I feel hurt when players go down to lower leagues in England and the player goes, you know what, the standard's just as good here as it is in the SPFL. The SPFL isn't a fantastic league. But anyway, Martin O'Neill, getting back to him and the fact that he decided to drop Tam the Checked out. The big lanky streak of, now what's this with ripping your socks? I just don't get it. See if you've got calf muscles like the size of bull's bollocks, maybe then you need to rip the back of your socks. See if you've got kind of skinny legs like Tam the Checked out. Mate, don't be ripping your socks. Your calf muscles aren't that big. I'm looking at a picture of Tam the checked out in Kelechi and Iacho. I'm going to get this on the screen. I've got to get it on the screen. I've got to. No, 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 no. That's not good. Let me get this the right angle for this picture. When you see the height of Tam the Czech, and you see the fact that he rips the back of his socks, I don't get it. It's a modern football thing. Oh, it loosens it off around my calf. Jesus, honestly, you need to get a grip, mate. You seriously need to get a grip. I used to have bigger calves than that when I was in my 30s. I just don't get it. Let's get this picture up. Show you. What is it all about? What is the ripped? What is this? What is this, mate? Do you know what I mean? You've not got the. Can you remember Kieran Tierney's calves and James Forrest talking about a player with big legs? James Forrest's legs were like his thighs were huge, and you've got Tam the big checked out. Remember that? Fucking all gonna go tits up tonight. You remember the Skinny Malinky? The Skinny Malinky tune. Somebody rewrite the Skinny Malinky tune for Tam the Czech, and we'll play it on the channel. But I don't get it. Getting back to him. Why don't they sell keep pre-cut socks? Supposedly stops cramp. My 7-year-old has bigger calves than Tam the Czech. I just don't get it. It's a modern football crap. See, if you're the kit man at Celtic, could you imagine, God rest his soul, if you still had John Clark at Celtic? And this is what's wrong with modern football players. You had John Clark at Celtic. He'd won the Champions League. He won the Champions League in '67. And could you imagine coming in and taking your socks off, and there's a Champions League winner walking about picking up your socks going, the fuck you ripped your socks for? Gaffer. He's ripped his fucking socks. What the fuck is this all about? He's done it on purpose. Well, they're not going in the washing machine, are they? They're going right in the bin. Dock him. Dock his wages. Fucking dock it. Don't give a shit. Dock his wages. Anyway, Kelechi Iheanacho or Tam the Czech up front. Kelechi Iheanacho, for what I'm seeing, has never ripped his socks. Tam the checked out has ripped his socks. And any player that rips his socks should not play for Celtic. That's just it. Players are more interested in social media than football once the contract is signed. Jim Lister, come the end of the season, we might end up with 25 million for Engels and Benji Negrin each. Get 10 million. Mate. Oh, Jesus, there's a couple of comments we need to get in here tonight. Jim Lister keeps on thinking that we're going to get 10 million for Hatate and Dijsselmaida. And then he says Martin O'Neill might have 70 million to bring in new players. As much as I love you, Jim, somebody's going to like remix that and it's like, I shouldn't have said that. Anyway, I love your comments. Oh, I'm so close to opening this beer. So close. And and there's no way that we're getting 10 million for Rio Hatate and Dijsselmaida. No socks. Baz, I put you up front before Tam, says Lauren. Thank you, Lauren. But Chill Pill does say, and now I hope Chill Pill isn't one of these overweight guys that goes out on a weekend dressed in lycra. We all know them. I'm not going to mention them. We all know what type of people they are, but Chilpil wants Lycra socks to be the answer. No man, no man should be wearing Lycra. We know the type that do, and no man should be wearing Lycra, especially if you're of a certain age and if you've got a certain belly size. Never mind about socks. Anyway, we digress, as we always do. Even if we get that much, the board won't spend it on decent players. This is very true. Give Jamesy another year. 100%. 100%. Definitely. Before you give Kelechi Iheanacho a contract, before you give Tony Ralston an extension to his contract, before you give Oxlade Chamberlain an extension to his contract, the first thing that Celtic must do this summer is give James Forrest the extension of a 1 year's contract. He will not play every game, but what James Forrest does give you is 17 years of knowledge. 17 years, and this will get the fans completely enraged. Give a 54-year-old, as Martin O'Neill said, and who was it? Big Kev that was 54 the other day. Is he on tonight? Has he survived the 54th birthday? I've not seen him. I've not seen him since he turned 54. He celebrated on the channel. Can't see any of his comments. Has Big Kev not lasted? No, can't see his comments. Well, let's hope that Big Kev, maybe he's on a bender. Maybe he hit 54 and just went, fuck this shit, man. I'm away out. I'm away to get milk. Like you did in the 1990s, in the 80s. Where are you off to? Where you get milk and bread, hen? Where you get milk and bread? Friday night. What the fuck you need milk and bread for Saturday morning, the breakfasts? And you come back Sunday night. Fucking rubbered. Get rubber socks. Rubber socks? Weirdo. Ralston was great yesterday. Yes, he was. And the one thing that needs to happen before we give Tony Ralston an extension on his contract, which might be controversial, because a lot of people say Tony Ralston's not Celtic standard, but he's a stalwart at the club that knows what it means to play for Celtic, as does James Forrest. And that 17 years experience that James Forrest has had as a senior player, it's not just 17 years experience that James Forrest has had, it's the time in the academy, the time coming through the system at Celtic. Keeping James Forrest at Celtic will help the younger players coming through over the next couple of years. Yes, James has still got oil in the engine. He's still got a bit of oomph in his legs. Yes, he might not make 90 minutes, but I tell you one thing, bring him on for the last 10-15 minutes of a game, and yeah, I think he could do well. But anyway, give him another contract. 100% give Jamesy another contract. Yep, we Tony Ralston. We Forrest changed everything yesterday. He did that. Ralston the Rocket, they call him now. Ralston the Rocket. Oh my goodness, come on. That's madness. Tenecti hasn't hit a byline in his life. No, there's always somebody that's got to spoil it. And talk about Tenecti. I just want Tenecti to be a winger and do what wingers do. Take on players, go forward, allow the full back to do an overlap, and then pass the ball to him and make things happen. But anyway, James is an inspiration to the youngsters. Yes, he is. Tam weighs the same as Bobo Baldi's left leg. We need... I'm going to have to get a comparison. Oh, man. Wait a minute. Oh. Bobo Baldi. We need to see Bobo Baldi's thighs. No, just got it. I don't want to. Fuck off. Oh, it's asking me to do things on YouTube and stuff. It's like, fuck off. This is because I logged out earlier. Oh, sign in. Verify it's me. I can't verify it's me because I'm on. Well, I'll have to do that later. I signed out of YouTube at Google earlier and it's asked me to do all sorts. But yeah, if Bobo Baldi's thighs. Wingers hit the bylines. Yes, they do. Only Rockets at Celtic are on the board, says Paul Baird. Reggie Blinkers. Alec Wishers da. Oh, it's all going to fuck tonight. I don't know what's happening. Um, can Celtic win the league? Let's grab the alternative. Baz, what's with Willie Hockey doing with his plans? Great thing, Baz. What do you think? I've not actually seen any Celtic news tonight. Sorry, I'm going to have to open my beer. It is Monday, but we are celebrating tonight. A personal thing, so and it's a Mau, not a Mahu. Fed up with people for the UK saying it's called Mahu. Look, Mahu. It's not. It's Mau. And we've no green ones. I don't know why we've not any green ones. Bobo's 3 times the size. Checked it out. And Reggie Blinker is Balak Wisher's dad. Baz, I've not checked out the full Willie Hockey thing since Friday, so I'm not going to comment on it if there's been any exciting things happen today. The Ox is the Ox a decent replacement for Kalmak? No, I don't think he is. I think it's similar. They're similar type of players. When you put a really good, now here's my argument for it. Let's get rid of Tam the Czech and I'm going to give you argument for and against Kalmak and for and against Oxlade Chamberlain. I think the two players obviously at the same age. One player that has achieved fantastic things in football, Kalmak, obviously, and the amount of trophies that he's won. And then you've got Oxlade Chamberlain that is on the other side of the fence that has achieved fantastic things and not as won as much as Kalmak, which is a strange thing. And there's a fly in here because I've got the window open. 2 seconds. Oh, shit, he's fucking wrecked the place. Jesus God, there's light changing colours and all sorts. We've got some normality. The lights have all changed colours and stuff. But anyway, I think that the argument for getting Oxlade Chamberlain on an extended contract, if you had Callum McGregor with better players around about him. Now, this is the argument that I've put forward for Callum over the years. Callum McGregor is a good player, but he's always had good players around him. When you've had Benji Negrin, when you've had £11 million Arnie Engels, when you've had Rio Hatate, they've not been to the same or similar level that the Celtics been at over the years. We've had midfielders that have completely dominated midfield and that allowed Callum McGregor to be better, to score crackers from outside the box, to play on that left-hand side in the midfield, not having to concentrate on the defensive side of the game, the organisation side of the game. When you play the two of them together, Kalmak doesn't pointy as much. He's more relaxed. He scored a few goals. He gets into better positions because you've got a better player playing beside him. Now, that says that Callum needs better players around about him. Doesn't mean that Oxlade Chamberlain's that better player. Can Oxlade Chamberlain be a replacement for Callum McGregor? I would say no, because I don't think that Oxlade Chamberlain would bring you the same experience as what it really means. It's okay winning the Champions League with Liverpool. It's okay playing at Liverpool and winning everything at Liverpool. But the pressure is a lot harder and a more intense. I wouldn't say it's harder. It's maybe a disrespect to Liverpool. but it's more intense at Celtic than it is at Liverpool. Definitely. Definitely. So is Alk a decent replacement for Calmac? I don't think he's the long-term replacement for Calmac. So he's not the replacement for Calmac. There's your answer. No, he's not the replacement. He's not a decent. He's a short-termism replacement, but he's not the long-term replacement. And that's where we are at Celtic. Anyway, Neil Lennon has been talking about Celtic yesterday, and he kept saying the we when he spoke about Celtic. Neil Lennon says that Celtic had a major impact to him down the years, and he's determined to beat Martin O'Neill at Hampden. I fucking hope not. I don't know. I hope. Carmack's not a number 6. He's better further forward. Yes, he is that. What day in May do we play Hearts to win the league? It's the last game of the season. If the Scottish Cup final is the 23rd, somebody's probably typed it in before I've managed to get onto the dates. Oh, go and just fuck off. I shouldn't have signed out of Google earlier. Let's just fuck everything up. There we go. Fixtures. We play Hearts on the 16th of May. Let's do this. There we go. And these are the remaining games that we have this season. You're going to be sad when the season's over. Let's have a wee chat. Let's just have a little us to us moment. What a friggin' season we've had, isn't it? It's absolutely been bonkers. We're now down to the next game is Falkirk at Celtic Park. This is European kick-off times, obviously. And then Hibernian, away to Hibernian on the 3rd of May. That's a mental weekend because that's a bank holiday weekend. Everybody getting completely mad with it that weekend. And then we play Rangers on the 10th of May, Wednesday, the 13th of May. It's a busy week. 1 week to win the league. That's what it comes down to. You know, it's like 3 games to win the league. If we've done everything in our power to still be within 3 points come the 3rd of May, if everything's gone the right way, you never know. Hearts might drop points, Rangers might drop points over the next couple of weeks. But if Celtic get to the 10th of May, a complete season condensed into 3 games is unbelievable. You know, the season has went. It's madness. You know, it's complete bonkers. Paul Bell says it won't be sad when we win the double. If we do win the double, it will be one of. I said this before. If we win the double, it will be one of the funniest doubles ever to celebrate. This will take the banter years to like. I mean, this will take it to Trump level stuff. You know, it's madness. It is absolutely. If we do it, but, and there's a big massive but, and I don't mean a big physical one, a big huge ass. I mean, if we get to the Rangers game and we're still 3 points behind, we beat Rangers. We then got to beat Motherwell, and we just hope. And if we're still 3 points behind the final game of the season, I think it's done and dusted. I think that Hearts, so doesn't matter the scoreline. We could beat Hearts. We could beat Hearts convincingly on the last game of the season. But if Rangers haven't taken points off Hearts, if Hibernian haven't taken points off Hearts, or if Motherwell, I don't think that they will take points off Hearts. We're looking at the Hibs Hearts game and the Rangers Hearts game. But for Celtic, we will believe, and I tell you one thing, it's going to be one of the maddest weeks in Scottish football that we've seen for a long, long time. And you never know, Celtic, it might be a bittersweet moment for Martin O'Neill. He's had it before, you know, winning the Scottish Cup and having been beaten in the league the week before. Makes you go into the end of the summer, it makes you go into the summer feeling good, but let's just hope we can do it. Soon enough, we'll be looking in the rear view. Got to enjoy the buzz. It will be Martin O'Neill's best ever. I remember my old handle, if you call it, on Twitter used to be Baz Lightyear. Back in my anonymous days for Celtic. The buns will be twisting in the wind. Build them high like dumb. It is going to be one hell of an end to the season. And the best bit is, there it is, the final game. Doesn't matter what happens. Don't know if we win the league, it's fantastic. If we don't win the league, we've got a game to make amends. Does it make amends? Or does it just... It's a funny situation because we could lose the league and go on and win the cup. We might not still have a new manager at that time. The 23rd of May will be exactly one calendar month since the Celtic board will have asked you to renew your season tickets. People in corporate paying over £2,500 a season ticket minimum. People working class sitting in the stadium without concessions being asked to pay £700 for a season ticket. Celtic sitting with tens of thousands in the bank. People will then put on social media, Celtic were born out of giving to the needy. And at this time with high fuel prices, with the time of uncertainty, is it the right time to be putting up the price of a season ticket? People will question that. And Martin O'Neill and the Celtic players over the next month will need to completely cut out the noise of what's going on outside. And I don't mean outside the stadium or outside Lennoxtown, because there is no noise going on outside the stadium or outside Lennoxtown. I mean the noise online. Because I think if when it comes out this Friday, if Celtic stay to what's happened previously, and they do come out with season ticket renewals, and it is inflated 6-8% or whatever, don't know, how do they then convince fans with no manager, with no prospect as it stands of Champions League football? It could be the situation that there may not be any high level European football next season, but we're asking fans to fork out good money, increased money. Don't know. Celtic have got an awfully big shit show to deal with over the next month. It's been an emotional season. It has been very emotional. Hearts to finish third. I don't think that they will, but it'll be interesting if they did. No chance. I want the double. Bring home Big Ange. And this is the best one yet. Baz, think of the meltdown just will have when they win the league. It's not just when we win the league, mate. I think if we win the league, if we go on to win the double, I'm not being funny, but it will be one of the funniest ends to a season ever. That seems to have sorted that out. It will be the funniest end to a season ever. They will not live the summer down. I would hate to be in their shoes. Hate to be in their shoes. Anyway, let's get into some of the comments before we leave this. It's been quite a good evening tonight. It's been quite a few people have jumped on. Obviously, the manager talk, ramping things up tonight. Tam Frank, is he the man to take Celtic forward? He's been spoken about online as a potential to take over from, and it's just online chat, isn't it? Let's face it. I still think if it doesn't come down to Robbie Keane and Martinez, if it is someone else, I, like you, will be completely surprised. But I think that when we look at what's maybe been happening in the background, I think that the deal's maybe already been done. But you never know. You never know with Celtic. Anyway, right, some final comments before we end off this evening. Sorry if I haven't replied to your comment. If we win the league after the season we've had, it shows you how bad the Huns and the Jambos are. Well, it shows you that anyway. Please don't let the Huns win the title. Won't hear it at the end of it. Baz, your class, but you're fuffing Martinez. No, I have no idea what you're saying, to be honest. Got the Celtic buzz back with 4 goals in 6 minutes. Was that a false dawn? Don't want to pour cold water on it, but we all know Celtic have got it in it. Anyway, it'll be Clarkey. Will this be the best title win in all history? That's a big comment. That's a massive comment, isn't it? If it happens, would this be better? Now, this is going out to the Celtic Dars. Would this be better than the 1988 double? Would it be better than Martin O'Neill's first treble? Martin O'Neill did a treble that hadn't been done since Jock Stein. But due to the ongoing shit show that has been Celtic Football Club over the season, would this, if it happens, and a lot of Celtic fans are after yesterday's performance in extra time, convinced it could be. If it happens, would this be the best title win in all the history? I'm not too sure about that, but it is a comment that was on the channel. Dermot's wedge could choke a dozen donkeys. Tighter than a duck's arse, Desmond. Nowhere near Cheerio 10 in a row. Yeah, I think that the year that we did it under Wim Jansen, there's nothing will ever beat that season. That's up there with, I mean, what Martin O'Neill did was fantastic, but that season under Wim Jansen, we should have did it. We should have done it in Dunfermline, coming back to bite us in the bum. We should have done it in Dunfermline the week before. We didn't. Let's just hope Dunfermline don't do a Rafe Rovers, because I will never hear the end of it. Anyway, any actual get him fit for the running? I think he's fit enough. It would be the most surprising title win. It would definitely be the most surprising title win. I mean, with the season that we're having, I think it would be the best one. It could be there. It will be up there with one of the craziest. I think when you look at the 98 win under Wim Jansen and what it meant to Celtic fans, making sure that Rangers didn't get that elusive 10. And they still think that was a big moment for them, getting 9 in a row. We've done it twice. in their lifetime under the two different formations. You know, we've done 9 in a row twice, and they think that, yeah, we stopped Celtic doing 10 in a row. Well, we've done 9 in a row twice, you know. But anyway, Dunfermline win the cup, and Lenny comes back to Celtic. Hopefully, bloody not. And like I said, I am looking to obtain a high vis jacket, and I'll maybe try and get in touch with Simon Wilson to see if he can fabricate more fake ID to get into a Celtic game like he did before with his mother. Owen Coyle not in the running yet. How to end up with a really bad taste to the video. If we win the title, would you give Iniacho another year? Yes. I've said that already, mate. I think that Iniacho has proved, whilst he is fit, that he is a player that deserves at least another year at Celtic. Gives us a little bit of Joe Venglos saying, continuity. And continuity in football, especially in a big year of change, do you know what Iniacho would bring to the team is not only a love for Celtic that some players, Kasper Schmeichel, doesn't have, but a player that gets us. You could see from the reactions of Iniacho that he gets us. And I think that going into next year with a new manager, we know that we will need to bring in another striker. Iniacho will not be the number one striker. Celtic will have to go out and spend money. But if you've got another striker that comes in as a number one, Iniacho is a number two, Callum Osmond is a number three, Johnny Kenny then goes out on loan again for a further year for his development to then come back. You never know. Callum Osmond might go out on loan, but I don't think so. I think it would be Johnny Kenny first. You never know. The new manager might say, you know, let's just keep Johnny Kenny here. Let's have a formation that plays two strikers, and then we've got two good strikers and two backup strikers. You never know. Anyway, that's me done and dusted for the evening, and it gets even better. Yes, we'll have Jota giving the forwards better service next year. We will have sold Yang. Maybe Tenecti might have disappeared. You never know. Anyway, that is me done and dusted for this morning. I'm going to go and finish this beer that the missus gave me 55 minutes ago. On that note, have an absolutely fantastic evening, Celtic fans. It's been an absolute pleasure doing this evening. It's as always is. It's been a fantastically busy evening. Normally, there has been over 2,300 people on the live tonight. I shall see you in the morning, and yeah, I'll sleep like a baby tonight. Have a fantastic evening, Celtic fans, wherever you are, all around the world.